So we're talking to Catherine Cooper, who attends CRC Harstown, and she's here with us in person, and we're delighted. You're very welcome to the show.
Thank you so much. I'm delighted to be here.
So would you call yourself an activist?
Yeah.
Why?
Well, I had a stroke in 2005. I required a disability. And to be honest with you, I never knew much about disabled people until I joined CRC. And I also involved with the BCIL here in Mulhuddart. I've seen so many difficulties people have to go through, and there's not very much from the health board out there or the government that helps people with disabilities. So I decided my act was to fight for disabled people, for myself and for other people. And I attended a few meetings, and I done a meeting for BCIL, a talk on poverty. There's an awful lot of poverty with disabled people.
You go to Harstown.
I do. I go to Harstown.
What's that all about?
Well, that's a daycare centre for people with disabilities, and it gets people out of homes, and we do things up there. We try to do active things, like we go out on day trips, and we're doing courses, and we're doing computers, and we do drama, and we do lots of things up there. We'd be lost without it.
And would that cater for the whole range of
It caters for the Blanchardstown area.
Yeah.
And would many go to that?
Oh, there'll be about 20 a day.
Right.
Well, I think there's 40 altogether that goes, but everyone goes different days.
Okay.
Some people have 2 days, some people have 3. Some
Many
people
of you?
have. Well, I had 5 until I had a fall there in January, and I got 2. And I've been out since January from the CRC, and I miss it terrible. And I especially miss the food, because we have a lovely cook, Jackie, and she makes beautiful food, and I'm actually missing that.
That's what it all comes down to, food.
And it would be staffed by volunteers with the CRC.
No, most of them are just staff, like
right.
they are recruited from the head office. The head office is in Clontarf. They go through there to get picked for there. They all have to be trained, obviously.
Yeah.
And they do sometimes take in, like workers that will be doing CE schemes.
Okay.
They take them in, and they do a bit of training as well.
Now, you were involved in various things. You said you gave a talk on behalf of BCIL, which is here.
Yeah.
That was on poverty.
That was on poverty, and I done loads of. I was actually I was elected to go to Brussels 2 years ago with DFI. I've done work with them as well. I've done a media training course with them as well, and I went to Brussels as a delegate for people with disabilities. We didn't really have to do anything. It was just that we had to go, like we were elected to go. There was 69 people from the whole of CRC that went for it, and I was picked.
Brilliant.
So I was absolutely delighted with myself.
There
was all different other organisations there, like there was like the blind, the national blind people, autism. There was loads of different, organisations that was picked. But when we got there, we had a very bad problem with Ryanair as we were going over. We had a lady with us, and she was in a power chair. Now, when she heard about that she was going, she rang Ryanair and told them about our wheelchair.
Yeah.
And they told her that she had a manual, she had everything. So they said, yeah, that would be no problem, bring your chair. So we got to the airport anyway, and they couldn't get our chair down. So they were putting us onto the airplane, and we were just sitting there because we were still waiting on the other lady to come on, because they were trying to get our chair folded down.
Yeah.
So next of all, the captain of the plane said, sorry to the people, I'd just like to make an announcement. Sorry for the delay. We're just having trouble getting the wheelchair people on. And we all went, what? That was an awful thing to say, very bad. So the lady that was organising it called the stewardess and said, could I speak to him for a minute? And she said, no. She says, but I can pass a message on. She says, yeah, will you tell him that we're not very happy with his comment. So a few minutes later, he comes out and he goes down to the lady and he says, he goes, oh, I apologise. She says, no, excuse me. She says, there's all the delegates. She says, we're off to Brussels. She says, for people with disabilities. And she said that it's them you have to apologise to, right? So he apologised to her, but we all thought that was great, like, and we all clapped. We shouldn't have bothered, but we thought, oh, we're not getting one up on him. But then the lady anyway got on the plane and she's sitting there and the mechanic fella was trying to still put her chair down.
Yeah.
So he told her that she couldn't travel because he can't get the chair on. And she said, well, there's all the tools, there, everything. She gave me everything. And they said what happened was the plane that we were originally supposed to get wasn't working. So they had to give us a different one and the wheelchair couldn't fit on. And the woman says, well, sorry, that's not my fault. She said, so what can I do? And he said, I suggest you'll have to get off the plane. So, of course, the DFI stood in there straight away. Excuse me, no, she won't have to do that. They rang back to their office in Dublin and they got that to be a wheelchair over in Brussels for her when she got there. Now, it wasn't a power chair, so it was just a manual one, but it was better than none.
Better than none.
But when we were all back in the hotel and all, and we were having a lovely dinner that evening. It was laid on for us and we had wine and beautiful dinner. And we met a few of the other delegates from other countries. So we were having the meal and that lady never got back from the airport till 10 o'clock that night. And we had the meeting the next morning. We had to be up in the European Parliament for 8 o'clock. So she just came home, went straight to bed.
Yeah.
And she was very upset.
God help her.
So we were going down we got up and we were on the way up to the European Parliament. Now, we hadn't got any of us to say. We only had John Dolan, the manager that's over the whole DFI. He was speaking. But the lady that organised asked this woman to speak about her experience on the way over. Well, never seen anything like it in all my life. Everybody was just so sorry to hear this. This is a disability place that we're going to, to talk about disability. And next of all, when the whole meeting was over, when everyone's finished their speeches and all, the man over the whole lot of I don't know what his name was, over the whole organisation, or the European Parliament, the boss guy, he made a speech and he just said, I don't like to, take individual people, because we're all equal. Yeah. He goes, well, I have to hand it to the Irish delegates. They really brought it to the table. The place was in uproar.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Tell me this. You met Miriam O'Callaghan?
I did, yeah.
Where am I?
I done, that was down in the DIF office. We done immediate training. There was a young girl from here that works here, Karen Smith. She done it with me.
Oh, yeah.
And
we know Karen.
And Karen's a great friend of mine. That's how I got to know BCIL, through Karen. Because Karen used to attend CRC. Yeah. But now she's doing her own thing with BCIL. And she's coming on great.
Brilliant. So you met Miriam O'Callaghan and she presented you with the award, was it?
Yeah, she presented us with a certificate.
And you were a guest speaker at the National Disability Authority's Wellbeing and Social Inclusion Survey.
Yeah, I done that as well.
What was that all about?
That was down in a hotel, I can't remember where the hotel was, but they asked me would I do that. They through me centre, they contacted the manager and said would I do that. I said yeah, no bother. So I went and done that, and it was all about your will and stuff like that. We done all that as well. About capacity. Yeah. If you haven't got capacity or you have. I done a few meetings over in Clontarf. I done three meetings in the one day, telling the adults over there about it.
Very good.
So I done a lot of work, and at the moment I was at the saying I had a meeting with Angela and Paul Donnelly.
Great.
In their offices.
Two good people.
Yeah, brilliant. I had a meeting with them, and this was before Christmas, and I said that they said that if I like to do a bit of work with them, voluntary like walk with them,
Good.
you know, because they said they wouldn't really have anybody that has a disability on their team as such, and that I'd be good to go out and speak,
Brilliant.
help them go to some of their meetings.
And you went in.
So we said we'll get in touch with you after Christmas. Sure, then I fell and hurt my leg and I couldn't do anything. So I'm hoping now that I'm back on my feet, that I'll be able to
Please
tip wood, that I'll be able to go back then
Good.
and
Now,
start helping them out.
I want to ask you, you're famous. You did filming with Irish Life. What was that
I
for?
done that. See, Irish Life was upgrading their building to make it more wheelchair friendly, because they had opportunities for people with disabilities to go for employment there. So they needed to know what they need. So we actually went out for the day and it was good. We done a few workshop areas and stuff. But we ended up, I turned around and they wanted to know exactly what the wheelchair accessible was, and I said, well, you need to get rid of them doors. They have to be sliding doors.
Yeah.
Then their bathroom, I says, well, you definitely have to get a change in places bathroom. I says, that consists of a hoist and everything, and a bed and a low-lying bed and all that for people to obviously use if they're walking here.
Yeah.
So I said, we actually have one up in our day centre. I said, so if you want, I invited them out to see it. So a couple of weeks later, they actually came out to do an interview with me. And I actually brought them in to show them the changes places bathroom. I says, that's exactly what you want. So they were delighted with that. So they said they were going back. They were going to the architects and they were going to get it done the way that I said it.
Brilliant.
So
that's great.
I'm
feeling.
an architect as well.
Catherine, it's been a pleasure to chat with you.
It's great.
And I hope you come back in at some stage and chat with us.
Or I
again.
will, yeah. I'll come back in when I get a bit more work under my belt and let you know what I'm doing.
Thanks a million for coming in.
So hopefully you might see me in the near future on the local elections.
Oh,
And I'll be looking for all your votes.
we're knocking on the door.
Just have to get funding off
it.
someone.
That's it.
So I'm talking to the government there. If there's any funding to give poor person on disability extra few bob to help her to help advocacy and help the government know what people of disability people need to get on with their lives and unemployment or employment work for them and stuff. We have a brain, we just can't use it. We just can't walk and stuff like that. But other than that, we can do anything else.
Yes. Anything anyone else can do.
Nothing without us. Nothing about us without us.
That's it. It's up there. Thank you so much for coming in.
Thank you so much, BCIL, John and the lads here.
Thank you.